Welcome back to Bullion IQ, your go-to place where we break down complex financial systems, crypto, and global money flows into simple, clear insights that actually make sense. Right now, there's a massive discussion happening across the crypto space about whether or not Swift will ever use the XRP ledger. Some people are completely dismissing the idea, saying it's unrealistic and just hype. Others are strongly convinced that Swift will eventually have no choice but to adopt XRP or risk becoming irrelevant. But here's the thing most people are missing. They are looking at this situation in a very shallow way without actually understanding how the global payment system works behind the scenes. In this video, we're not just going to pick a side. Instead, we're going to break this entire system down from a professional, analytical perspective so you can clearly see where Swift fits, where XRP fits, and whether they are truly competitors or something else entirely. Because once you understand the real structure of global payments, everything starts to make a lot more sense. Let's start with the basic idea that many people are throwing around. A common argument is that Swift would never use XRP because XRP is seen as competition. And at first glance, that sounds logical. Why would a system adopt something that could potentially replace it? But this assumption only works if both systems are actually competing in the exact same role. And that's where most people get it wrong. To understand this properly, you need to visualize how money actually moves globally. When you open apps like PayPal, Venmo, or any banking app and send money, it feels instant. You click a button and boom, the money is sent. But in reality, the money hasn't actually moved yet. What's happening is something called credit and debit accounting. These apps are basically showing you a balance update, but behind the scenes, the real settlement process is much slower and more complex. Banks play a huge role here. They act as intermediaries, meaning they take on the responsibility of ensuring that money eventually gets settled between different parties. They allow transactions to appear instant by using their own liquidity and balance sheets. But when it comes to communication between banks, especially across countries, that's where Swift comes in. Swift is not a bank, and it's not a settlement system. It is a messaging network. Its job is to send instructions between banks. It tells Bank A to send money to Bank B, but it doesn't actually move the money itself. The real movement of money happens through something called correspondent banking, which relies on systems like Nostro and Vostro accounts. These are basically pre-funded accounts that banks maintain with each other to facilitate international payments. Now here's where things get interesting. This traditional system is slow, expensive, and inefficient. Payments can take anywhere from 1 to 5 days, and a lot of capital gets locked up in these pre-funded accounts. This is where Ripple saw an opportunity. Ripple didn't just want to improve messaging. They wanted to improve the entire system, including settlement. That's why they built the XRP ledger. Unlike traditional systems,